No, we gonna be down I guess I could figure out how to say that. Bill, 5 minutes, but anybody that old saying, follow the money, have a lot of different things.
Very good.
That's mine. Y'all got it worked out. Good. Yeah, what I'm saying, ain't no we, I was saying, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I had to read well, that's crazy.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Madison County Board of Commissioners regular business meeting agenda, April 24th, 2023, 6 p.m. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gentlemen, before you, you'll have a copy of the minutes from March 27th, 2023 regular business meeting and minutes from the April 3rd agenda setting work session. Take a moment to look over those. If you see no discrepancy, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from March 27th and April 3rd.
Motion to approve. Second motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Doster, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Dennis?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Business involving guest groups and multiple visitors. First off, I want to recognize the Madison County FFA Senior Poultry Judging Team. Thank y'all for being here tonight. We put together a proclamation in y'all's order, and I shall read. Whereas the Madison County High School FFA Senior Poultry Judging Team won the 2023 Georgia FFA Poultry Judging State Championship, and whereas members of the team, their livestock judging coaches, and FFA advisors have invested many years of present dedication and hard work to achieve these successes. And whereas poultry is the largest agricultural industry and carries great economic impact for Georgia and for Madison County. Madison County consistently ranks in the top 3 poultry producers in the state of Georgia. Whereas Madison County FFA students, FFA seniors, poultry judging team members Joshua Black, Emma Holcroft, Devin Self, Isabella Williams have demonstrated leadership not only on judging teams but also through the FFA chapter levels. And whereas these youngsters in agricultural and committed to giving back to the community by helping other young people develop knowledge and skills that the FFA organization have helped them to deploy. Whereas the Madison County High School FFA Senior Poultry Judging Team will move forward to compete at the Nationals in Indianapolis, Indiana. Gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion to approve this proclamation.
Move this proclamation be approved as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, a second by Commissioner Kurt. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Mr. Chandler?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now, therefore, be it resolved, we do hereby recognize the Madison County High School FFA Senior Poultry Judging Team for their success during 2023 and their leadership as well as their dedication and commitment to the FFA. Ladies and gentlemen, would y'all like to come forward?
That's just what I need to fix. Fix your mind.
Y'all want to come in behind the desk? Maybe a little bit easier. Get a picture, and then I tell you what, let Zach get his first. Just those 3, and then we'll move in.
Can you get drawn in with him?
Yeah. Come on, Coach.
Take like you like each other.
1, 2, 3.
One, two.
Now, one with all of us. Step
You're
here,
our
Coach.
witness, we got this no witness.
Congratulations. This one's Paul. Where's Deb?
All right.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3. You see Mom want to take pictures? Yeah. Y'all got them?
Quick draw. Quick draw on the camera. Thank y'all so much. Y'all welcome to stay and attend the rest of tonight's meeting. If not, I understand. I have other places to be. And this has become a routine. We have a lot of talented kids. It's awesome. It'll be long until we're gonna start picking out the coach, and when he goes to Athens, like, wait a minute, I keep seeing you in the coach something all the time. So he undoubtedly coaches multiple.
Yeah, they all do several different events. There's 4 other teachers at the high school. They sort of specialize. He does, yeah, he does horticulture, sort of that area too. The plant sale, that's his class. He's also the class.
I should have given him congratulations before he left on a successful plant sale at the high school. I know it cost me a lot of money. The second proclamation for the National Library Week. I think we have the board here tonight. Whereas libraries provide the opportunity for everyone to pursue their passions and engage in lifelong learning, allows them to live their best life. Whereas Madison County Library has long served as a trusted institution for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, of sexual orientation, gender identification, and/or socio-economic status. Whereas the Madison County Library provides engaging programming, including story times, STEM games, activities, arts, crafts, technology, tutorials, and for all people of all ages and all abilities. Whereas the library strives to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the populations they serve and ensure equity of all access. Whereas libraries adapt to the ever-changing needs of their communities, continuously expanding their collection services and partnerships. Whereas libraries play a critical role in the economic vitality of communities by providing internet and technology access, literacy skills, obviously I don't have any, literacy skills and support for job seekers, small business, and entrepreneurs. Whereas libraries are accessible, inclusive places that promote sense of local connection, advancing understanding, civic engagements, and shared community goals. Whereas libraries are cornerstones of democracy, promoting the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Whereas libraries, librarians, and the library workers are joining the library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Gentlemen, I'd ask for a motion to approve this proclamation.
This proclamation be approved as presented.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, a second by Commissioner May. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner May.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Now, therefore it be resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Madison County proclaim National Library Week, April 23rd through the 29th, 2023. During this week, we encourage all residents to connect with their library by visiting online or in person to access resources and services. Y'all like to come up here, ladies?
Is that right?
Too quick.
I don't know, probably want to, probably put it in front of you. We can walk. I'm small enough. Put your hands together. Yeah. Oh, is that okay? Yeah, everybody always takes their place. Yeah. No, one leg. We can still have those. No, you can take it.
Break it over.
That can cut you out of them nowadays.
All right. One, two.
I think we're good. Yeah, that was better. Thank you. Thank you.
You can see it, we got a little one in the hallway doing this.
At least he was quiet.
Oh. Ms. Alita, would you like to give your report?
Yes, sir. Thank you all for that. Good evening. So at the library, we have recently restarted a program to share donated paperback books with the Madison County Jail. Our children's specialist, Hannah Wolf, spearheaded getting that restarted. It had previously gone on hiatus because of COVID. We contacted Captain Vaughn and asked if they would be interested in having this. They said yes, and we have delivered the first box to them. On February 8th, I attended Legislative Day at the Capitol in Atlanta. At that event, I had the opportunity to meet with Senator Frank Ginn, and just a few days later, he paid us a visit at the library. On March 24th, we had 6 students, along with an interpreter for the deaf, come from Madison County High School as part of the job shadowing event sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. We spent the day with them, covering as many aspects of working in the library as we could. They pulled holds, brought in the drop, packed materials for transit, shelved books, observed check-ins and check-outs. We also talked about regular tasks such as turning on the lights and the fact that somebody has to mop the floors. I think the students got a lot of experience, and we very much look forward to the next one. In last quarter, we had 3 author events, including Madison County's own Lila Lawson. We currently have a display of beautiful paper art, and I hope you'll take a look at it at your next visit. I'd love to show you. I want to thank you all so much for the work that's been done at the library recently. The floor of the Jerry Ayers room looks beautiful. And going forward, just as a reminder, we do have access to MRR funds that can be used for future projects. The bulletin board that just got hung in the children's area is going to help us promote our summer reading program. We're gearing up for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have puppet show and drumming and magician, music, lots of fun events. I will be sending you all details of that soon, and I hope you will come take part. And finally, I would like to invite you to the dedication of the Jenny Ruth Eccles Memorial Garden this Sunday, April 30th at 3 p.m. Some of her family are coming, and there will be a reception, and it would be wonderful to see any and all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lee, a quick update for you. Alan Krasinski from the road department, he's going to come over, I think, one day next week.
Okay.
Late next week, because he's off the first few days, to look about repainting the children's room.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Good to know. Thank you.
Chairman's report. The 2023 spring tire amnesty will begin May 3rd. Highlight that, Zach, in the newspaper. Through June 3rd, 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays only. Madison County Transfer Station will be accepting up to 10 tires per citizen, no rims, large or heavy equipment tires. For more information, please contact the transfer station. The BOC is now accepting applications for animal control officers. Interested individuals can apply through the county website or in person at the Human Resources Office. Please see Tracy Dake. Update on the federal funding applications. The BOC office, with the assistance of the Northeast Georgia Regional Commission, submitted 9 applications for 3 projects to 3 different federal funding appropriations. Each of the projects has made it through the first phase of the application selection process. The BOC should receive final notice of the award during the end of the summer. What we submitted was close to $7 million. Northeast Georgia Regional Commission felt very proud to know that out of our 3 submissions, 9 projects, all 3 submissions were picked up for the first round of funding. Madison County Recreation Department will be hosting a re-grand opening of the splash pad for the recent installation of the life floor. Make a Splash project on May 13th at 10 a.m. This was a 100% grant-funded project the Recreation Department received during December of 2022. I got to contribute Ms. Angela Rouse and Shelley Palm for that. I think, Angela, you wrote this grant that we received. Do you remember the dollar amount of that grant?
It didn't give us a dollar amount. It was for all the materials, all the installation, and a 20-year warranty. So whatever it cost them, that's what we got. But if we had bought it, it would have been somewhere between $65,000 and $70,000. The grant value was $50,000 to $60,000.
Okay. And it looks great. I saw it. It's colorful. Protection for kids. Got a little bit of rubber membrane to it, so they slip and fall.
And the guys are finishing the outside concrete edges with for all practical purposes, a swimming pool paint, so that it will not only blend in, but will then deflect the heat sun too.
The splash pad is a welcome site for the county, and I'm sure now it'll be much more anticipated to go to now that the slip surface is a little bit better. Spectrum broadband updates, I skipped one. The Taste of Madison County event will be May 13th from 10:30 to 1:30 in downtown Comer. 5 samples are included in the entry fee with the ability to purchase lunch and other products. For more information, please contact the Chamber of Commerce. I will tell you, last year's event was standing room only. Most of the vendors sold out in just a matter of hours. I don't know how many people there was on that street, Zach, I don't know if you were there, but it was crowded. And it was good because you tasted so many different foods from within our county. Spectrum broadband update. The BOC office met with the government affairs representative with Spectrum Charter 2 weeks ago. The county will be receiving a website link for citizens to enter their address to see if the new broadband service will be provided in their area. This broadband project has a completion date of December 2026. To address some of the public concerns we have received, the state will have a compliance committee in place to oversee this project and expenditures. There are several phases to take place before construction begins. The public can expect to see ground construction begin in approximately 12 months. To be honest with you, ground construction's already started. And if you're worried about what area of the county it's going in, we did see myself and Christina did see the maps. It is all over the county. Surprisingly, which I was a little surprised about because I knew how the awards went, to see so much in Harrison. I thought Harrison originally was going to be a satellite area, but it's not. Charter Spectrum, they already have all the cities, so the vast amount of the $18.5 million is going outside the cities. To say that there's a particular area that won't get it, I don't think I saw an area that will not get it in the county. But with the website that they're trying to develop now is a prototype that where you can go in and type and find out when it's coming to your house or if your house is on that marked area, but I will tell you it's probably going to be so. Estimated $18.5 million for people, for the public that trying to understand what that looks like, 18.5, it's roughly 600 miles of fiber. So that's the best way I can describe it. Keeping in mind all the cities already have it, so. All right, with that being said, statements and remarks for citizens on tonight's agenda. There's a couple of you here. I see the mayor of Danielsville and the council member from Danielsville here, Mr. Russell. I'd asked Michael to come based off of the board was wanting y'all to tell us what your thought process was for that building that's in topic. So, Michael, if you want to give us some updates on what you're talking about with the American Legion building.
Sure. Just here to field any questions y'all got about it. The only thing we want to continue to do is the same thing it's always been there for, is for the public to come and rent for their usage, for their meetings. I know some people go there to have their workout classes. Just keep it as that. That was it.
I had updated the board on, and you may have read it in the paper, that y'all were trying to get grants to rehab that building.
Right.
And that was part of while we're looking at, right now, I think y'all own the building.
Right.
And we own the dirt. One of the things that for this board to know is Mike Pruitt, council has advised us that we probably need to do a title search.
Yes, sir.
Because this thing is so convoluted from about 1936. Is that correct, Christina?
Yes.
Yeah, 1936. It started trading back and forth, so the only legal way to know who got what, even if you own the building, or even if we own the building, or you own the dirt and we own the dirt, we're not going to know till we get a title search.
Right.
So I know that there were some questions from this table stating, hey, what are they going to do with it? You know, why do they want it? And they really wanted to hear primarily.
Right, strictly for that. I mean, if you look around the city and you count up everything the city owns, we own the building we meet in, and that's it. So in order to get any type of grants that are out there. There's one that runs year-round that you can get for a municipality or for the county to rehab something like this, but you have to physically own it. You can't just own the building, you gotta own the land, and we don't own any of it, so in order to have something inside the city that the city can actually do something with.
So, as I understand right now, an individual sort of been handling the,
From what I understand, the way it worked, the American Legion, of course, had it, and then the American Legion decided they didn't want to continue their part in it, and they signed a 99-year lease to have these folks run it, and from what I understand, they don't want to run it anymore. They'd like to see it signed over to the city.
and so what you're saying is the city will agree that they're gonna manage that
Right.
part of it? Okay.
We manage it, we do the upkeep and the leasing on it or renting of it for anybody in the county or any city.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions for Michael? All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Now, the only thing that we do have to do, and we can do it later, is bring to a vote if y'all would like to vote to do the title search. So, with any other statements, remarks from citizens on tonight's agenda? Go ahead, gentlemen.
You know, the next item on your agenda is old business, but I wanted to come and at least tell the board that I was really pleased, and I think the people of the county were pleased with your effort on the comprehensive plan update. I see you might vote on that tonight. You know, the plan, nobody can please everybody where you guys sit. I know you know that's true, but you did an amazing job of trying to get as many people as possible involved. I think people responded to that, and I'm happy to see it's back in your hands now for approval. And I'm hoping in the future that this board and citizens will keep that plan in their mind every time a decision's made and make the plan something that really applies to everybody, which is the purpose of the plan anyway. But again, you guys did a great job getting that ready, so my hat's off to you.
Thank you, sir. And with that said, congratulations on the award.
Oh, well, thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
That was, I'm sure there was a lot of names in the hat for that award, but glad to see some Madison County people do that.
Yeah.
Good work.
We're working hard on some things, same as you guys.
Thank you so much. All right, anybody else? All right, old business. Consider approving the resolution adopting the 2023 Madison County Comprehensive Plan.
Mr. Chairman, particularly since there were a couple of issues that I had questioned and asked the planning and zoning to look at, it would be my preference that we do not take action on this at this time. We wait to get a report back from them and then have opportunity to discuss those specific issues concerning that I brought up for discussion.
That'd be fine. Did they happen to give you a time frame?
We didn't really discuss one. Obviously, we wanted it to come on pretty quickly because we were expecting the okay from the RDC. May be appropriate to just sometime once we get their get recommendation from their discussion and give us opportunity to ponder that and go forward from there.
So we'll look to table it until the last meeting in May.
I'm thinking June.
First of June?
Last of June.
Last of June?
Potential deadline.
Yeah, we got a deadline there somewhere.
I'm thinking it's June.
I thought it was June 1st.
I can look and let y'all know.
All right. So we'll just table it until a date is approved.
According to the deadline.
Let the P and Z know what that deadline is too.
Okay.
We work out a schedule at that point.
There was a couple in there also I was a little bit concerned about, so I'm glad you done that.
Do we have to take a vote on it, or we just?
To take, yeah, since it's on the agenda, yeah, be a motion to postpone.
Okay.
Move to postpone this, resolution.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Channel for postponement, second by Commissioner Kirk for postponement. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Do we need to specify a date? Since we don't know a date, it's technically indefinitely, so, but we know you gotta get it back before June 1st.
Yeah, I don't have it, I can't recall. I was thinking June 1st, but I might be wrong.
Could we get an update on this at our next meeting?
We can do
Then
that.
we can, I mean, obviously, we we've only got 2 meetings to pull this together, instead of specific time limit, yeah. And so if we get an update at the next meeting, then we'll vote on it no later than the last meeting in May.
Yeah, you could make a motion to postpone until the second May meeting.
That'd be fine.
All right. So, in discussion, gentlemen, you'd like to alter your motion to the,
Yes.
you still second that motion?
Sure.
So the motion is to postpone until the May 24th meeting, is that correct?
It is May the 22nd.
May the 22nd meeting. I have a first and a second. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Brian, it's on you.
Yes.
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 Thank you, gentlemen. And I'll be honest with you, the little small items we did see over the whole scope was pretty good. It should not be that big. All right. Consider awarding, on to new business, consider awarding the 2023 T-Splosh road projects.
June 30th is the due date.
Oh, okay. Well, if we need, it come the 22nd, if we need to postpone it until the following meeting, that'll be fine. We'll just change it that way.
Of the T-Splosh, this was the only bid that we received. Talked to Mr. Allen and Mr. Chris Fields. They both reviewed it, and Chris Fields highly recommended this company and this price. He said that this price was within $100,000 of what he expected it to be. So
Just no other interest.
no, he said, Todd, you probably know more about this. It's something about what was requested at macro. There's not a lot of companies up here in North Georgia that do this. So that's why it wasn't something that, it's a new technique.
Yeah, most of the providers would have either came from below Macon and or Tennessee. What we were talked about doing was the micro surface, and there's micro, and then there's mini, several different options without having to go to the 2-inch overlay like we've always done. This is something DOT does do on a regular basis on their projects to the larger scale. You know, what we're going to at the end of the month is where this came about when I saw it in Savannah, and then reached out and talked to some of the other counties. And we knew the bid process was going to be narrow just because of the distance they were going to have to travel for work. And so to have this one come in at this rate, I think it's a huge stone accomplished, because right now to do a 2-inch overlay is running about $14 a foot, and this, what we're talking about doing, is going about $3 a foot. The same warranty, the same everything. So it's just a new way of thinking, getting out of the old box. And I do feel like this is going to be good for Madison County, because if you consider the amount of paving that we've already done in the spring, to follow it up with something like this in the fall is going to almost quadruple the mileage that we would have normally got with a 2-inch overlay.
There's 12 roads that we're going to be working on.
I make a motion to approve the contract. Just bid.
Second motion.
A motion by Commissioner Doster, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, it's on you, Derek.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Good deal, gentlemen. That's I should have said it in my chairman's board. I'll do it in right there. All right, consider 2022 budget amendments. These are Kathy has come up with for the year. I know Kathy and Susan has been working really, really hard to get us where we need to be, and just not trying to get off topic, but our county auditor that we've been using is coming tomorrow here to sit down so we can finalize that. So pretty proud about that. But these are budget amendments that were a little bit off. Some of these were budgeted, but they were in the wrong areas. They had to be moved from one department or one particular area into another particular area, which the dollar figure really didn't change much. It was just the allocations to where it was actually placed in the line item. Did she need a vote on this tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner Adams. Gentlemen, any discussion?
If some of them are reprogramming budget numbers that were there, wouldn't there be some negatives in there to probably zero out that line item?
That's what, when inside of a budget, like you'll see these are from a department head that's over multiple departments. So they'll move funds from one line item to cover another. It would zero out that line item, yes, that they're moving it from to cover the other. So if they had a surplus in office supplies of $500, but they were negative or over 500 in training, that's where they would just move that within their budget.
But I think all these are additions after they checked all that.
This is, the second page or the back is where they're moving funds from within. The
Right.
first page is funds that weren't budgeted or what's went over budget.
So those are coming from contingency or
Yes, the 213 will come from the fund balance.
fund balance? Oh, fund balance, okay.
Yes, sir.
Are all departments reported as we requested?
Yes, sir.
So like on the back page, the top two lines, like 1158 and 1800, the one that's blank, that's where those two budgets are coming from, that's where those numbers are coming from, zeroing out the last line item.
No on that one.
Now, it looks like it's coming from the Clerk of Superior Court's budget to the Board of Equalizations, which is listed like as a department under her, like a different facility line item. That's my understanding of how they're moving that money
yes.
around. Because it's moving, the reason why this is before you is because it's moving from one department to another department. So since Katie's over the Clerk of Superior Court and the Board of Equalizations, that's how she can request to move those funds. But the way our ordinance and policy is written, when you move funds from one facility to another facility, it comes before the board.
Even though there may not be an overage, but just to do a lateral transfer, you still have to have the amendment to transfer.
Well, I get that, but
I
the
think some of
point
these
being
are
is if
still-
you're moving from A to B,
Right.
if you're putting money in B somewhere, there should be a negative A to make a $0 increase.
I think.
I think that's just information she just didn't put on here.
Yeah. I think what Katie done was she had seen where they had put it under Superior Court, but it was supposed to be under Board of Equalization, so they had to move it out of her Clerk of Superior Court budget back under the Board of Equalization where it was supposed to be to begin with. Like she would have come up short had that not been labeled in the correct department.
So does it take that line item off of the Superior Court's page?
Well, she'll still have a line item for travel, food, and lodging. She'll still have a line item for both board supplement. It just was probably whatever was purchased or whatever travel expense was tagged under the wrong department. So she's probably still got that line item, it just calls her line
I
item.
mean,
to
it
go
shows you
over.
where you're putting the money, but it doesn't show you where you're taking it.
Right.
Granted. I
So
see
the
what
only
you-
way I can read this honestly is thinking it's a total add. So
Yeah.
There's no balance out.
But is the total requested to amend the fund balance to 213,880.16
Yeah,
Correct,
from both pages, right?
yeah,
correct.
That's what I thought they told me, but.
yeah.
I'll ask her to be a little more specific.
Yeah,
on the
they
next
need
one.
to, if they're gonna show that,
That's no problem.
I mean, I know it's about moving money, but it would be clearer if it says it's moved from here to here,
Gotcha.
just for.
I
I
agree.
understand we have overages and understand, fuel prices go up. I mean, I'm not trying to be, I just think the math ought to work.
So I think all that's still included in the 213,880.
I'm like Derek, I would rather have Saul.
I would have too,
But
but I mean, that's what I'm saying though. They just didn't make the second page clear.
So page one are additions, and page two just indicates money that's been moved,
correct,
no dollar change.
my understanding. Which actually I haven't had much discussion on this, to be honest.
I stopped and asked about some of this stuff one day, and that's what they told me they were doing. They told me it was gonna be about $200,000, so I'm assuming that 213,880 is the total addition. Could be wrong, but it would be better if it was
Okay.
clearer.
So here you go. So if you look at the last one, the request to transfer from the sheriff's office and jail. The sheriff's office and jail, their facility, I remember their facility 1551. So you see the 100-50 and 100-51. I'm assuming since that's blank, that's going to be zero, because those, you're transferring $36,000 combined into facility, that 21560, that's the 911, the 2E911. But Derek, I think that's where you get, when you're transferring that line that doesn't have a dollar figure out, I think that's zeroing that dollar figure out and moving it to where the dollar figures are.
It would have just been easier if she would just put a zero under the other two line items, the parentheses to show us. That's
The
what.
front and a two column.
If I might make a suggestion here, that whenever we have these, at the meeting that we do this, that if the,
Be here.
would be here.
Would be here.
So we can answer questions and make this a lot simpler.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be that often, but they'll know when they need it, just know that they need to be here to explain any questions.
That's just like the second one to the bottom, that 212 number, that's chance. When you get into when you get into different funds, elements.
It's hard to keep up with that, like Fund 94, 5250, 5160, and the transfers without seeing it on here, but that's fine. We'll get her here for the next one. All right, any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Dennis, it's on you.
Yes.
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 All right, thank you, gentlemen. Consider approving the chairman to sign the pre-application and commitment match letters for ARC grant application. This is $77,000. This is the 50% match for ARC to do a water sewer feasibility study for our county. So in order for us to know where water and sewer needs to be, the cost on it is $150,000+, $154,000, and half of the match is $77,000.
147,000.
147? I thought, okay. Either way, this, ARPA funds can be used to match this for the matching grants. Correct, Christine?
I would assume you could,
Yeah, because we had talked about using for matching grants for some of the ARPA.
yeah.
I'll take 50% match on the dollar, so I'll move it.
Yep. Move to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dawson, second by Commissioner Kirk. Any other discussion, gentlemen? All right.
There is one note on, I was reading it earlier, just bringing everybody to, or clarity. There's a timeline schedule in there. It talks about October 23rd, collect bids and select firm. I think that's just colloquialism because I believe it's probably have federal money in it. And probably have to do an RFQ, which would require quality-based selection, which pricing cannot be part of that conversation.
You are correct, sir.
So it won't be just take bids and give me a selection process and then negotiate. What part of this?
We're,
Where it says right here, October 23rd, collect bids and select firm, that's how the bids work.
Yeah, all right. I'm glad you did this for Clark County, so
It always comes in handy, though.
yeah.
All right, so I have a motion and a second, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Terry, it's on you, sir.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
where are we taking this from?
We can take it from anywhere, but I'd prefer to take it out of ARPA.
Y'all wanna?
We need to make that
Yeah.
part of the,
Yeah, you will need to make that out.
amend
Yeah.
You should take a second motion to, well, I can amend, I'll amend that. Okay. If, you know, according to it's appropriate.
Sure, that's fine. All right. So with the amended motion, being funds, be provided from the ARPA funds, Terry, it's on you.
yes, and I just assumed that, if that ends up not being accepted, come back to the board to define where they are coming from.
That will be fine. We'll find that out by in the morning, but I'm almost 100% positive.
So, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good.
yes.
All right, thank you. Road updates, Highway 29 bridge. The BOC office has been constant communication with GDOT and ER Snell on the open date for construction process for DDOT. The project completion date will be the end of April. I know it opened on April 20th, but it's nowhere near completion. There has to be a 2-inch overlay done on that road. Speaking to Josh Cotton, who has been a very, very good information source, an employee of ER Snell for us, has told me that once they do the milling of the old road, down below, all the construction below, they're gonna come up, and put the surface on the top. I did contact him Monday of this week and asked to do something about that 2-inch lip because I was getting phone calls on it. He reminded me that it is 35 miles an hour, and I reminded him that people don't care how the speed limit is, they want that bump fixed. So either way, ER Snell, have a completion date towards the end of April. Proud to see it open because it is ahead of schedule. Foote McClellan Road, the design update from GDOT. The GDOT design engineers have presented and determined to implement a right-hand turn only design for that intersection, Highway 72. This project is scheduled to take place in the near future. Right now, what I mean by the near future is over the next few months.
That's sorry, I realized I didn't finish that line.
That's fine. Originally, there was a completion date of July 1st. There's some Atlanta Light and Gas stuff that may be holding the project up just a little bit, but we hope to have Foote McClellan and Highway 72 intersection took care of by the end of summer. Cooper Road, railroad crossing project. The BOC has reached out to the contractors and to CSX to pursue this project. We are currently waiting on a holdup with the insurance requirements. We will advise the public and all parties when this construction will take place. For you that may not know what we're talking about here, as far as Cooper Road and Highway 72, DOT deeded us the old Highway 72. It's now county road, which took away some of the limitations, and this is going into the feed mill in Comer. Currently, you have to go down 2 other roads to access the feed mill. It's about 3/4 of a mile around all of them. After riding that road and looking at the repairs of that road, I suggested to Chris Dills and Alan Lazimski that we could fix the intersection cheaper than we could rebuild all the roads. And met with DOT, met with CSX out there, and they have agreed to, once you turn off 72, the incline used to be like a triangle point. And they're gonna raise the back side of that road up so transfer trucks can come in and out there instead of going the 3/4 around through the subdivision and the houses and those residents. So with that being said, we're only gonna be working for about 50 feet right there, but anything within 50 feet of DOT's right of way requires a $10 million policy. Little perturbing to deal with those guys, but the project is underway. We're gonna be able to fix that intersection and save a lot of money on repaving all the way around, back to, what's the name of that road off the top of my head? But anyway, so now what we'll be able to do is that there is a passing lane there. We can back that passing lane up and make a turning lane so the big trucks can turn in directly to the feed mill. And now they'll be going about 700 feet versus 3/4 of a mile. So, don't know CSX's time frame. We'll figure that out. Last week, the BOC office attended the Concept Design Zoom GDOT meeting for the roundabout at State Route 98, Highway 172 project. This project is in the very early stages, and the start and completion date has not been issued yet. Once that information becomes available, we will share it. What I'm referring to is there will be a roundabout at Viola Junction. They do believe that completion date will probably be in 2026, speculating. I think they've done some preliminary work on that road. Before everybody gets up in arms about Golson Stand structure, the old store, the design that I have seen, the 3 different options, the store stays in the same location. It's not going to be moved at this time. With that being said, yes. Okay.
What about 281 Bridge? What's the latest?
281 Bridge, I set myself up right here. I'm gonna say it's still got a July 1st opening date. I will tell you that it will be open before July 1st, I just don't know when.
Okay.
I would hate to speak and say that it'll be May 15th, when something will rain or something will put them behind. They are ahead of schedule, way ahead of schedule, both of these bridges, and this is why I gotta give E.R. Snell credit on it, because we did have about 90 days of rain during this year period of build, and to be this far ahead of schedule, to come in a couple months early, I think is hats off to those guys.
Yeah. It's a July completion, but the bridges will be open before then, because completion means they get all the sides and everything else is done.
Correct.
Like in January, they still got to take that bypass, you got to take all that.
All that out. And they do need to pave it.
Yeah, and still that.
Oh, yeah.
I got to talk to about that by my own wife when she hit it at about 55 miles an hour.
I did the same thing.
Well, you did it one time.
I told her not to do that anymore because I did not want to have to fix the front end. Car.
Statements and remarks from, oh, never mind, road updates for you guys. Y'all need anything? Anything y'all got going on?
Glen Edward Road.
Yes. Yeah. So, we still don't have our park car tractor. We are planning on going over there Thursday of this week with our small mini X to start getting up the 6-foot logs that was left. We're gonna go ahead and start cleaning up the under debris now. They're telling me next Monday now, for the thumb for the track hoe. Manufacturer, I don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. They tell us 1 week and it's 2 weeks later. But we are gonna go ahead and send crews over to do the cleanup of the logs that's laying there, because I did promise April 1st start date. Any other roads?
Just, there's no rhyme or reason to a pothole repair.
Yeah.
As the weather continues to improve, I mean, we need to have guys out there.
Gotcha.
I know they got it on the radar, that route on Chandler Road.
Yep.
And also Jones Road, that culvert has always, where the creek is, has always been short.
Oh, yeah.
I know that they've got, pylons on either side of it, but it's, that needs to be addressed.
I wrote it last week and told them what we need to
The
widen
road
that
still
thing
looks
out.
good.
Yeah.
The road thing down still looks good.
Old Royston Road, of course,
Oh, yeah, it's already,
Alan knows about this schedule, they just gotta wait till they can get everything
actually,
moved over. Did they move something over there?
we've already started moving equipment. That is the next super dirt road that's gonna be built is Old Royston Road, and they were supposed to be moving equipment over there yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this is a really bad shape, so I'm glad. But they already had it on the list, so that was great.
Yeah.
But it's already far.
Any other roads, gentlemen? All right. Statements and remarks from citizens.
I have forwarded to all of you a copy of an outdoor lighting code handbook. You know, I think this county, with the growth that is or is not coming right away, but whether it's subdivisions or anything, there's alternatives to lighting now that don't pollute the sky and don't bother the neighbors. And I think if this county had in place a good lighting ordinance, that it would make it better for everybody in the county as we do progress, that things are built. You know, you can think of examples yourself where you could see something miles away that lit up and it lights up somebody's yard. All types of rules and regulations of code exist already. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel. In this booklet that I sent you, which is 95 pages long.
Yeah, 94, I thought. but
Oh,
okay,
sorry,
maybe
94. But there's a lot of information in there where you could pick and choose, or the code department would pick and choose. But I really think it would be the Madison County advantage to develop a good lighting ordinance. So when a subdivision goes up, or if somebody wants a dusk and dawn light, it's the right light to put up that doesn't bother everybody in the neighborhood. And it's a simple thing to achieve a lot of work, I'm sure, but the noise ordinance was a lot of work and complicated. But I'd like you guys to look at that, at least consider getting the departments to look into maybe developing a good comprehensive lighting ordinance. So in the future, we have lighting for people, but we don't have it for everybody if they don't want it.
I appreciate you sending that to us. We got it, mid-afternoon, I think is when I saw it, and I think Christina's forwarded it to everybody. It is something that we're probably gonna have to look into, I'll just be honest with you, because we've got a particular spot here right outside Danielsville now, where the road forks, and they put these massive LEDs, and they'll almost blind you, because you have to veer off towards the lights, and you can't see.
And
I'll tell you.
it's a secret what has occurred, the quality of lighting has gotten so.
Yeah, it's just better.
Last 5 years, it's head and shoulders above what it was.
And that's why I bring it up. There are alternatives to all that exist already. It's like, nobody has to reinvent anything. We just have to say, okay, your lighting can't, you know, shine on everybody. It can light up your yard or light up your business, but not light up everybody else.
I appreciate you sending it to me, and we're gonna try to read through it. Any
It's
other
not the most enjoyable read, but it's,
Right, it's a little mind.
and there is a section in there about ordinances themselves, besides light and how it travels and everything else. But all the information there is good. It would help them develop a code like that.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Statements, remarks from commissioners. Executive session to discuss real estate acquisition, personal matters, potential litigation, sir.
Yes, sir.
Derek Dawson.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Right.
That's perfect. Congratulations on your
Never did get a promotion to do proposal.
I'm pretty sure that after Mr. Wall comes later on to renegotiate. You can do it. Okay. I was just around with
You've been right.
If we can't cook, yeah.
Search parties for it.
Hey, my son. We will. But he probably looked at the agenda, boring.
Okay. Really.
Thank you so much. Thank you.